Hello, everyone, and welcome to the DPB Podcast. I am your host, Ryan Angelo, with DisneyPinsBlog.com, the latest news on Disney pin trading and collecting from around the world. This is episode number 71 for the week of January 16th, 2017.
Welcome to the Disney Pins Blog Podcast.
Welcome back, everyone. It is Ryan, and I have a very special guest with me today. It is Angelo. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm really good. How are you, Ryan?
Good. So for those who don't know who you are, just explain briefly your name and kind of what you do.
So I'm Angelo Sleccia, and I am the lead artist and owner of Vitruvian Leather Art. We are a custom leather design company where we create anything and everything you can think of out of leather.
So you guys do a lot of cool custom pin bags. Our last pin event we had, you guys actually sponsored a giveaway, which was awesome. Thank you very much for doing that.
No, it was my pleasure. Yeah, I'm personally a pin collector, so when I was able to translate my pin collecting and my passion for leather and created something that combined them both, I was really, really happy, and it was for an excellent cause. Because all of the money went to Give Kids, so it was great to be a part of.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, guys, we're going to jump right into pin news for this week, and then later on for Disney Pin Chat, Angelo is going to talk a little bit more about his business and kind of how he got started and what he does now. So we're going to start right off with Frozen Fantasy at Tokyo Disneyland Resort. So this past week, the new Frozen Fantasy is a festival that goes on at Tokyo Disneyland, and they always have exclusive pin releases for it. This runs through January 13th through March 17th, and they have 4 exclusive pins that were released. One has Anna and Elsa on it, and then the other 3 are the Snowgies pin, which are really cool because you really don't see many of those pins. And then they also had a Frozen Fantasy button that was released that has Anna and Elsa on it. So I know those were pretty popular out at Tokyo Disney Resort. Next, cast member 2017 Lanyards appeared at Company D at Walt Disney World. And Angela, I see you smiling over there. You like some of these?
Yeah, they look great. Last year they were really cool last year as well, and I was excited about some of them. But sometimes it seemed like they were hit or miss on what characters came out that not everybody liked. And I think this year they really pulled out some of the big guns that they're just throwing ones each month that everybody is going to like.
Yeah, I think these are great. They're limited release, and there's a new one each month. So that's very cool. I know this was a popular blog post when we put it up. People seem to be very excited about it. And I actually got my first one of these cast member lanyards. I got the Hollywood Tower Hotel emblem, the HTH. So
nice.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
I saw people all over Facebook that after you posted, they were asking if there are any cast members out there. Could they pick them up?
Well, so hey, cast members, you might have opportunity here if you want to help someone out. All right, guys, let's head over to Disney Store UK. A new Beauty and the Beast live-action pin set is coming out on February 2nd, and this is a worldwide release as well, so I'm assuming it's going to be coming to Disney Store here in America, but it is limited edition of just 200 in Europe and then 1,000 worldwide. This was another popular post. It has the Beast, Belle, and then it looks like Lumiere, Cogsworth, and the teapot. What's her name again? Mrs. Potts. So that's a cool pin set there. 3 pins, and the retail price is £65. So I'm assuming when it comes to Disney Store, it's probably around $70, but we will see. Next, over at Mickey's of Glendale, they have a new release. The Chinese Zodiac 2017 pins. Did you happen to see these ones, Angela?
I did. I thought they were really cool. I like the incorporation of Mayor Bellwether for the sheep, mingling in some of the new characters. I think it's really great.
It is awesome. My favorite is probably Pinchito from the Three Caballeros.
Yeah, that's great.
But those are coming out on Tuesday, January 17th, right after Martin Luther King Day. These are exclusive for Disney cast members. They're limited edition of $250, and the retail price is $18.95 per pin. So a lot of cool pins there. Next, speaking of cast members, there's another cast member release this past week for the movie Brave, celebrating the 5th anniversary, and it has Merida on it. And this pin is limited edition of 500. It has a nice oval design on it. And I just thought that was unique to see. You really don't see many low limited edition movie anniversary pins coming out exclusively for cast members. So I thought that was an interesting pin there. A lot of cast members pins this past week. All right, guys, heading over to Disneyland. runDisney had their Star Wars half marathon, the light side run this past weekend. That was January 12th through the 15th. And they, of course, had their commemorative race pins, the 5K, the 10K, the half marathon, and some of the challenges out there. And they also had the new style pins with the ribbon that actually is like the material of the medal that you receive when you do the run. So that's pretty cool. Those are available at the expo out at Disneyland exclusively. Next, I want to talk about the Epcot Festival of the Arts. This was a big topic this past week. A lot of confused Disney pin fans because everyone thought they would have a good opportunity to pick up some pin releases for this brand new festival at Epcot. But it was very unfortunate that Disney did not release any new pins for this festival. They have them for Flower and Garden, for Food and Wine. They always have exclusive releases for these festivals. And I thought this was a perfect opportunity because pins are basically like little pieces of artwork. So it's kind of weird that Disney didn't release any. But there was one pin that was given to media who attended the press event on January 13th at Epcot. But this pin was actually a recycled pin. It was released way back in the day, I believe 2014. And it features Mickey Mouse holding a paintbrush. And below Mickey, there's a tube of paint, and it says "The Magic of Disney Animation Ink and Paint, Walt Disney World Feature Animation, Florida" on the pin. And I believe that's just an open edition pin, just a recycled pin that they gave out to media. So hopefully, if this festival catches on, Disney will take note for next year and have some exclusive releases for it. I'm kind of surprised, Angelo, they didn't have any Figment pins for it,
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised too because this kind of took over Festival of the Masters because they can no longer hold that at Downtown Disney anymore. Oh, I'm sorry, Disney Springs.
Right.
So this kind of resembled that, and they moved it into the park. And they used to do Festival of the Masters pins because I have a couple of them from years past that I went. So it is a little surprising that they didn't do anything for this. But I do agree with you. If it catches on, they might see that there is a want and possibly a need for them, that people want them enough, so they will possibly put them into production, which I think would be exciting because, like you said, their pins are beautiful and they're little pieces of art, and it would be something wonderful to showcase while everybody else is showing their art as well.
Definitely. Totally agree. All right, guys, let's head over to back to Tokyo Disney Resort. I missed this one earlier, but the Valentine Nights are returning at Tokyo Disney Resort. This is another event they have for Valentine's Day. I believe it runs a few nights, and there's a open edition pin that is released for it, and it's called the Concert of Love, and it has Mickey and Minnie dressed up in sparkly outfits, and the back of the pin is in the shape of a heart. So pretty cute there. All right, guys, let's talk about the new pin releases this week at Disneyland and Walt Disney World. There's only one according to Disney's flyer that was released, and that's at Walt Disney World on January 19th. It is another quarterly collection. This one's called Disney Recollections, and this one features Hercules, and it is limited edition of 3,000. And that's going to be a new quarterly collection at Walt Disney World. Hopefully Disneyland gets something this week as well. Maybe it just might not be on this calendar, And of course, if there's any new open edition pins that release, we'll be sure to post those as well. All right, guys, that'll do it for pin news. Now we're going to get into Disney Pin Chat with Angelo, our special guest. All right, buddy. So let's talk about your business a little bit. First of all, you reached out to me. I think it was, I don't even know now, probably 6 months to maybe a year ago.
Something like that.
Something
yeah.
Like that. I think the first thing I did for you is I wrote a blog post about your Etsy store.
Yeah.
And I just kind of, because I thought it was beautiful, the stuff you're creating, and I just wanted to showcase it to the Disney Pins blog followers. And
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, I guess just talk about some of your products you have.
I run an Etsy store, and it is called Vitruvian Leather Art. And I have custom items in there. I have lots of bracelets and things in there, and things that are that can appeal to everybody. But a lot of the things that I do and I like to do is I take a lot of custom orders to make things that people will love and cherish forever, that are really going to be one of a kind. So, because I found oftentimes when I would want something and I would want it to be one of a kind or custom, it would either end up being put as regular stock then in the shop afterwards, okay. Which then was not one of a kind, or it would end up being just a minor alteration of something that was already made. And I really like to make something that somebody is going to have and be the only one that'll have it. So everything is unique, and with every piece of art, that it's going to be something that is unlike another one, even if it is somewhat the same. So I have made belts and bags and purses and wallets and all sorts of types of things that are individual to the customers, and I try to take the time to learn a little bit about each customer when I'm doing a custom work for them, just to make sure that I can translate their likes and their personality onto the pieces.
Gotcha. So some of the ones that we showcased, I think, were the crossbody. What's it like? The kind of like what the cast members wear at the park.
Yeah. That one was fun. That was actually the first pin bag I made, and it came out of a little bit of jealousy and spite. I really, really loved the cast member bag, and I had tried on multiple occasions to try and purchase it from various people that had acquired it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I had missed out on multiple chances, so I decided to just kind of make my own. And mine was a leather rectangle that I sewed a fabric pocket into, so it is essentially just like the cast member bag. But for many people who don't or haven't seen all the details of the cast member bags, the only real difference is that mine has a pocket on the front with a snap closure underneath the fabric, whereas the cast member bag has a pocket on the back that it is not closed, that it is just an opening for you to put things in. And cast members will usually put like maps or pens in.
Gotcha.
But I liked mine because I could put the closure on there and make sure everything was secure. And it was good for putting locking pin backs, the little Allen wrench tool, or extra pin backs, or
nice.
Little pins, or anything else really.
Very cool. Yeah, another one we have featured on the website right now was a custom one for the Little Mermaid, and it says, "I wish I could be part of that world." I know that was one that we showcased for you.
Yeah, that one was a variation on the original design that at first I just left my back blank of my personal one that I used and you all featured. But I decided that lots of people like their characters, and when I started to get into the lanyards, because for a while I was not wearing lanyards when I went to the parks and things, just because it was drastically heavy.
Yes, it is.
But I started to see the people with, as I got into wearing the lanyards at the park, I started to see other people that had their custom lanyards to reflect their character or other things that they liked. So I realized that people really wanted something that tied everything together. So I thought that being able to match the color of a character dress or like that one has Ariel and it matches the color of her tail, kinda,
Right.
and it has her silhouette carved into the back. And I thought it was really fun because then it becomes so much more than just functionality. It's something that's beautiful, and you can flip it around so that people see the back, or you could still use it with the front for people to see your pins out. So that was really enjoyable to do as well.
Right. One of the really cool products you make are the custom leather pin books, which, like I said earlier, you generously made one for our last pin event. It was a custom one that said Disney Pins Blog on it. I'm looking at a picture here right now that we had up on the website that has your name on it, and just the intricate work that you put into these is unbelievable. You really have to see it in person to really appreciate it. But just how long does it take you to make something like that?
Well, when I did that, that was kind of a skewed timeline, because from when I contacted you, I overworked myself, and I made it very, very quickly, and I ended up giving myself I ended up inflaming my carpal tunnel. So
Oh, no.
if I was actually going to do it and take the proper amount of time, it usually would probably take about maybe between 50 to 60 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Honestly, just broken up over amount of time, because there's so many processes that people don't always look at something and see. For instance, on yours on the one that we donated for the pin blog, and on mine, there's areas that are what's called resisted and are different from the varying color around it. So one area will be very dark and the other area will be a drastically different color. And all of that is done by applying a resisting coat to the leather by hand with a paintbrush, and very tiny paintbrush, to make sure that you don't spill on any area that is supposed to have color, whereas the other area is not. So between carving all of the detail on the flowers or whatever that you would want on there, and then also tooling the geometric patterns like we did on mine and yours, it can take a lot sometimes. And then nothing I do is ever sewn by machine. Everything is sewn by hand and put together, and I have calluses to prove it.
Oh my God. Wow. I love the dedication and passion you have for this. I mean, it really shows. It really shows on the work.
I appreciate that. I really do love it. And I got into this when I was very young. I started when I was 8. My mom got me a small medicine man pouch kit that they're made out of suede and had a fringe that you can purchase in like a hobby store. And I got that for Christmas, and it ended up taking us about 5 hours to finish doing all of our Christmas presents, because that was the first thing I opened. Wow. And I decided I wanted to do it right then.
Oh, wow.
So
that's awesome.
But after that, I got another kit until eventually I had no more kits to do, and I just had to start buying my own hides of leather, and I was designing things. And
when did you get to the point where you're like, okay, now I want to create a business and start to try to sell some of these pieces?
I think that was, well, since I started, I had been doing small little things. I would make bracelets for my teachers, and they would pay me. So it
nice.
Was always kind of there, just because I was learning, and the people saw that I was doing something that was not an ordinary 8-year-old would do.
Right.
So they took interest in that. But I think it really came to a head in 2008, and that's when I started up that's when I started doing custom orders for people, and my Etsy shop came into play, and
very cool.
Everything kind of just fell into place nicely.
Nice. So how did you come up with the name? Tell us a little bit about that.
All right. So the name of my company is Vitruvian Leather Art, and I'm Italian, and Vitruvian comes from Leonardo da Vinci's Vitruvian Man, and it's a drawing where, if you look it up, it's on vellum paper, and it has a circle in the background and a man in the foreground, and he has two different movements of his arms and legs, making kind of a V with his arms and a V with his legs, and then a straight across line with his arms, and then his feet are in line with each other. And that was designed by Leonardo da Vinci to work out the mathematic principle of perfection when drawing, because Leonardo da Vinci was not just a artist or a sculptor. He was also a scientist, a mathematician, and an inventor. And people don't always think about the math and the other skills that go into art when you're viewing something. But there are principles such as the golden mean and the Fibonacci sequence that bring out math and pattern in everything. And I kind of wanted that to be reflected in my shop because I try to embody perfection and bring out the inner beauty in everything. And that's why I take so much time with everything that I do. I use natural mediums. I put stones and crystals into my work because I try to embody the essence of everything and keep it beautiful and simple and flow. I try to keep flowing lines and make sure that things can resonate for everybody, because art really is something that translates all language and all understanding, that it can relate one person to another person without even words. So I tried to embody that with the name.
Very cool. I love your story, and I really do love what you do. It's beautiful, beautiful work. Where can they find you? Should they just search your the name of your company on Etsy?
Yeah, if you go into Etsy, I'm sure we could put a link as well.
We'll link it up on the blog post for this podcast. But do you have any social media or anything?
I don't.
You should create a Facebook page, buddy.
I know. I need to create a Facebook page. Well, then we'll do a blog post about my Facebook page.
There you go.
But no, I don't have a Facebook page at this time. I'm one of the very few young adults that don't have a Facebook page or any social media. I don't. I get very, very severe headaches after looking at computer screens or phone screens, so I try to kind of minimize that as much as I can. But I probably will be getting one soon, just for business purposes. And until then, you can, if you go onto Etsy, all shops are required to have their name without spaces in it. So if you went to the search bar on Etsy and you typed in Vitruvian, you might want to possibly just Google Vitruvian Man, because sometimes if you haven't spelled it before, it's tricky to spell.
Yeah.
If you type in Vitruvian, no space, leather, no space, art, all one line of words, and press enter, you should be able to find me. Or if you just look up leather pin trading bags or books, my things should be the first things that pop up.
All right, perfect. And we'll be sure to link you up on the blog post on the website for this podcast. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, we will be sure to leave a link on there as well. Angelo, thank you very much for being on this episode of the DPB
Thank you
Podcast.
so much. I appreciate everything you all have done. I love the pin blog.
Thank you. All right, guys. Hope everyone has a great week, and we'll be back again next week. See ya.